Përshëndetje e mirë se vini në Eating Albanian. Unë jam Monda Cunmulaj. I'm from New York and I immigrated here about 23 years ago. On today's episode, I will be making a traditional Albanian recipe called Djathë Ziem, which is a form of cheese fondue. For this recipe, you will need 1 whole stick of butter. You will need some kind of mozz, or this is called clotted cream. It's kind of hard to find in stores, so you can substitute Kajmak, which is really the same thing. You also will need 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. Some Albanians prefer cornmeal. I personally like the all-purpose flour. And to add a little twist of my own, I put a little bit of feta. I'm not sure if it's authentic or how you traditionally make it, but my husband likes it, so I add it. And last, but certainly not least, I have one more. I do the cheese. I use 1/2 block of fresh mozzarella and 1/2 block of the store-bought mozzarella, and then I shred it. Now, last but not least, I use a shleen for my Albanians, or it's a cheese brine. And you can substitute this for water if you don't like the shleen itself, or if you don't want it to be as salty. Now let's go make it. So for this recipe, you will need a Dutch oven because it spreads the heat equally. And I also serve it in this because the cheese needs to stay hot, otherwise it's going to not be as sticky. First, we start with the butter. And then next is the mozz, or the clotted cream, or the Kajmak, whatever you have. I have to lower it a little bit. Okay, you could pause it a little bit till it So before we add the next step, the clotted cream has to completely melt down, where you don't see this part. I don't know if you could see in the video, but yeah, this part has to completely melt down. And then we will add the rest of the ingredients. Okay, now that the cream has melted, we are going to add the flour. And you have to do this gradually so you don't get the clumps. And then we mix this until it is also incorporated. And I will show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, now we add the shleen, or the water, or you could leave this out if you wanted to, but I don't think you should. If you don't like the shleen, you can add water. And then you mix. And you mix until you see that the fat from the clotted cream is coming out. And then once you see that, you can add your cheese, and I'll show you what that looks like. When it looks like this, I know it looks a little clotty and weird, but it's not. I promise it'll be fine. But you see the cream, or the clotted cream has melted, and you see this butter. That means it's time for you to add your cheese. And you also add this slowly so that it can melt. And you don't have a lot of it. Funny story about this. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I read it somewhere. I'm originally from Kelmend, and I read somewhere that Ziem originally was created there. Nuk e di janë se vërteta jo, po I claim it because I'm from there. And now we mix. So this is on low heat, and you have to mix it slowly, and you have to mix it for a while. That's how you get the stretch of the cheese. And I will show you what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so the cheese has melted pretty much, and when it looks like this, that means you are good to go. Don't forget this part. This just gives it a little bit of the Albanian, true Albanian. Se s'ka ushqim pa djathë. Incorporate it all in. And you're done. Okay, the cheese has been done for about 5 minutes, and we will serve it with Nora's favorite bread. This is my daughter, and we usually do everything together. You want some, Mama? You want some? Thank you so much for joining me and Nora. I hope you enjoyed making Ziem with us, and I hope you pass this on to your daughters, your granddaughters, your nieces, like it was passed down to me, and enjoy.